Welcome everybody, Souldin of the Grin here, and it's time for another episode of Tea Time. So for today's tea, it was actually a free sample from a store I went to. In a city near me, there's a T2T store that's opened up. It's as you might expect, a tea store mostly entirely focusing on tea leaves tea. I don't think they have a single tea bag tea in the store, so... But I went there and ended up purchasing a caramel tea. What I'm having right now is not a caramel tea. What I'm having right now is actually they have like a free sample pick and mix when you buy a product. And my free sample I've got here is a just lavender tea. I'm a little unsure about how I've brewed it. I only used half of the tea bags in the, tea leaves in the little sachet. And I have a feeling I should have used all of the tea leaves because the colour of it's a bit odd. Got a nice smell to it, but I'm not sure if this is being brewed perfectly. I'm kind of new really with using tea leaves. I don't brew that many teas with tea leaves. It's just so much more convenient to use tea bags. In any case, that's the tea I'm going to be having, and I'll be trying it towards the end of the tea time as per usual. Trying the just lavender tea without milk. Okay. Sorry, a little bit phlegmy, so coughing and all that. In any case, today's tea time is a subject I wanted to do closer to when it was relevant, but due to certain issues such as uploading the Fallout 4 finale, recording footage for the Grin Brothers next playthrough, and finding a decent time where I can both record this as well as to then edit it and render it and keep an eye on it because this laptop keeps overheating every time I render anything on it. In any case, this tea time is focused on the 3DS focused Nintendo Direct that occurred recently. The one that happened on the 1st of September 2016. I'm not sure what it's going to be called. I never actually am all that familiar with what I'm calling the Nintendo Direct focused tea times. But the title will have appeared by now. So then, I'm not going to cover every little thing. I'm just going to cover the ones which stuck out to me, as well as a few which were maybe different from a lot of people's viewing on Nintendo Direct, because as I'm from the UK, I naturally watch the Nintendo PAL region Nintendo Directs, which has Satoru Shibata, and as such there are things that we didn't have in our Nintendo Direct and things we did have. For instance, things we didn't have included the Reggie and Bill Trinan sort of like comedy sketches, which is a shame, but also didn't have anything on stuff like, say, Yokai Watch 2, as a game example. But there was a few things I believe that we have in our Direct that people in America or Japan don't have in theirs. So, not sure which points exactly, but hey, it may be new news to you. So, starting off with, and which I think was actually the very first thing of our Nintendo Direct, there was some more sort of information revealed on Pokemon Sun and Moon. Not sort of like huge information, but there was the information of, well, the reveal of Alolan Rattata. Now, I don't really care much for Alolan forms, but Alolan Rattata does tie into the lore of the Alola region a bit, in how they used to have such a big problem with Rattatas in the Alola region, so they introduced Yungoos to the region, and then Yungoose's population went out of control, and the Rattatas then sort of like adapted, and so they became the Alolan Rattatas, which are like dark normal types. I like the sort of mustache. Looks hilarious. And the other thing they revealed was they revealed that Z moves can sometimes be specific to a Pokemon. For instance, the Alolan Raichu has like a surfing Z move that only it can use, at least as far as where only it can use. And they also revealed that there'd be a gift Munchlax, which would have access, once it becomes a Snorlax, to a unique Z move called Pulverizing Pancake, which looks absolutely hilarious. And I've been loving all the sort of like jokes surrounding Snorlax's Pulverizing Pancake. But so not much really in Pokemon Sun and Moon terms, but you know, Game Freak kind of just revealed the Pokemon Sun and Moon information on their own, and you know, just Pokemon Sun and Moon alone sort of like draws people to a sort of a video reveal and all that. I kind of lumped these two sort of next games together. They were actually at opposite ends of the sort of timetable for when they were revealed in Nintendo Direct, but they kind of fit into the same category. There are, unfortunately, further Wii U games which are being ported to the 3DS. The first of these is Super Mario Maker for 3DS, which is coming out on the 2nd of December 2016. And the next one is Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, coming out on the 3rd of February 2017. And I'm not a fan of further Wii U games being ported to the 3DS. With Hyrule Warriors Legends, for instance, I don't think it was a very good idea. At least specifically having it on the standard 3DS, because from what I've heard, that just does not play well. It's just not right to knacker the game so much by having the Wii U version trying to run on the standard 3DS. The new 3DS I could kind of find more acceptable, but it's kind of like, why not just focus on contributing more to the Wii U version? I mean, I guess I can kind of see where Temco Koei were going with this in the, hopefully they'd be able to take advantage of the Japanese market for that, and I can kind of see where Nintendo are going with this. Maybe they'll get more sales out of the 3DS while they can. After all, that it's almost 5 years, 6 years old system. It's running its course at this moment. And Super Mario Maker for 3DS, it has no online sharing. They're focusing on the local community, which I think is a nice idea, but completely removing online is a bit iffy. But then that will just lead people to, if they want to play Mario Maker, just going to get the Wii U version instead, because the online sharing is the biggest feature for a lot of people. And Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, I wasn't a fan of Yoshi's Woolly World. I guess a 6 out of 10 is what I'd give it. There was just something about it which felt off. Don't think it was anywhere near as good as Kirby's Epic Yarn, for comparison's sake. However, I do like Poochie, and there will apparently be a Yarn Poochie amiibo, so I may consider getting that on the purpose of having a Poochie amiibo. Moving on then, and speaking of amiibos, they also revealed some new Mario and Zelda amiibos. Okay, not really revealed new Mario amiibos. These Mario amiibos were already known. Those are the sort of Waluigi, Wario, Daisy, Rosalina, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and Boo Mario line of amiibos. The Boo's interesting. It glows in the dark. And I'll probably get myself a Daisy amiibo, because I like Daisy. And they also revealed some new Zelda amiibos to celebrate its 30th anniversary. A classic Link amiibo, an Ocarina of Time amiibo, Link amiibo, sorry. And a Toon Link and Toon Zelda amiibo. I quite want the Toon Zelda and Toon Link, and from what I've heard, these two amiibos will be done as like a dual pack thing, sort of like how some places did Callie and Mary, you could only get them together, and some places did like the Squid amiibo at first could only be bought in a free pack sort of thing. But yeah, so I'm quite happy for the new amiibos. I wish there was more stuff to do with the amiibos. And having recently played Metroid Prime Federation Force and watched Some Call Me Johnny's video sort of review on Metroid Prime Federation Force, I'm kind of wishing there was Federation Force amiibos, or just Metroid amiibos in general. I'd quite like a Federation Force Soldier or a Ridley amiibo, and it would have been a nice way to celebrate its 30th anniversary. There's a lot of anniversary Nintendo is forgetting to celebrate this year. It's just Zelda and Pokemon, really. I guess they kind of eclipse everything. Moving on then, Rhythm Paradise Megamix. Now this I know definitely wasn't included in the American Direct, because they had Rhythm Paradise Megamix shown off at like E3, and the game's released there, but only in a digital form. We in the UK and the rest of Europe are getting it physically on the 21st of October 2016. It's going to include the European and Japanese soundtrack. Apparently it has a story mode, and now we have a demo, but we also have a physical version coming out at some point. I'm sort of interested in the game, but on the other hand, I've spoken with a friend of mine who's a big fan of the Rhythm Paradise, Rhythm Heaven sort of games, and he basically suggested that I should try playing one of the other games first, because it is mostly a compilation, and I do have the Wii game, the Beat the Beat game, which I've yet to actually get around to trying, so I may try to do that first before considering getting this, but it's kind of poor timing, really. I don't think I'll have much money around the point of when that's coming out, and the NX is coming out in March, which I may get depending on what it's like when it's revealed. But yeah, it looks cool. Moving on from that, Nindies. There was a section of Nindies in the Nintendo of Europe Direct, which I don't think anyone in America got, because this showed off the a bunch of indie games, Axiom Verge, Noi 2 Love, Azura Striker Gunvolt 2, and more importantly for me, Jotun Valhalla Edition, which looks really cool. Yeah, there were some Wii U games shown off. Yeah, wasn't all just 3DS. And there was also Severed, which also interests me. I think Severed interests me just a little bit more than Jotun Valhalla Edition at the moment. I probably won't be able to get both, actually, because I've got so little room on my Wii U. However, when these games release on the sort of launch week, there'll be a 10% discount off of them, which is a really cool thing. Really happy with that. It's something that I didn't really put down on my list, but there's also Hyrule Warriors DLC. That's coming out. They've got a Toon Zelda from the, was it Spirit Tracks? Yeah, Toon Zelda in like the Phantom Armor as a weapon is going to be playable, which is pretty cool. And Toon Link's getting the Sand Wand, which allows him to also summon a train, which is hilarious. I believe the character DLC will also be coming to Hyrule Warriors. The Adventure Map DLC is the stuff that's unique to the 3DS version. A game I'm really looking forward to next year is Ever Oasis, and that got shown off once again. However, nothing new was really shown off of it in the Nintendo of Europe Direct. I kind of think that because it was revealed at E3, which is of course, although it's a worldwide event, it's also more American-centric because it's showcased in America. They probably just showcased it again in the Nintendo of Europe Direct for the purpose of, if you missed this or didn't watch E3, here's a new Nintendo IP we're working on. It's called Ever Oasis, being made by Grezzo, and the director of it's the creator of Secret of Mana, and they like worked on the first 3 Final Fantasies, and I think it's in good hands. It looks cool. I like the sort of, it's kind of like a combination of Legend of Zelda, the Mana series, and Fantasy Life, which is an amazing combination. And so it's a game I really look forward to. Really nice designs. I like the sort of desert region and sort of like the sort of desert-styled characters and all that. It's a nice change of pace. And yeah, it's definitely a game I'm looking forward to next year. Another game I'm looking forward to next year, which will be surprising because I've never expressed much interest in this series, is the new Pikmin game for 3DS. The main reason for this is that it's basically Pikmin Mass Attack. When I played Kirby Mass Attack on the DS, a game I really liked for 2 reasons. One, because there was tons of love to the Kirby series as a whole, like the mini-games of it are absolutely incredible. And secondly, the gameplay is pretty cool and unique. I prefer traditional Kirby gameplay, but it's cool and unique. But the gameplay of Kirby Mass Attack made me immediately think, this plays like how I imagine a 2D Pikmin game would. It probably would have made more sense to make this a Pikmin game. And lo and behold, they're effectively doing that now. The new game, Pikmin for 3DS, they haven't come up with a name yet, basically looks like Kirby Mass Attack 2, but with Olimar and Pikmin. It's apparently it's a 2D side-scroller, more of a reaction-based action game. We have to be quick on your feet rather than a more tactical sort of game. But of course, there's going to be strategies to it and all that. But it's more sort of like how well you're able to think of a plan, you know, on the go sort of thing. Red Pikmin, all the Pikmin have their unique abilities. Red Pikmin's immune to fire. Blue Pikmin can swim underwater. Yellow Pikmin are immune to electricity. You know, anyone who's played Kirby Mass Attack, it looks very similar to that in terms of how it plays. Art style's pretty nice. It has a very almost like a faux realistic sort of design, or like a brushwork design to sort of grass and trees and such. It kind of looks like they were real rather than just being made in game models. Whereas, of course, Olimar and such were not like realistic looking, but you know what I mean. But yeah, it looks really cool because it reminds me so much of Kirby Mass Attack. So this might actually be the very first Pikmin game I decide to buy for myself. So those are my thoughts on the 3DS focused Nintendo Direct, and I'd love to hear your own thoughts on the 3DS focused Nintendo Direct. Feel free to share your comments below. Now to try out this tea quickly. The lavender tea is okay. Not much flavour on the initial go. A sharp sort of flavour then sort of like pops up afterwards. But after that, it's kind of dies down a bit. Maybe I should have put more tea leaves in this. It's not as strong as I was expecting, but decent enough. So, that's my thoughts on the 3DS focused Nintendo Direct. Feel free to share yours below, and thank you for watching. Cheerio, everyone!